Hey everybody, welcome back to homerecordingmadeeasy.com and here on my YouTube channel. And this time out, we're going to take a look at a very cool plugin by the company Pulsar Audio. This is the Pulsar Smasher. It's an 1176 all buttons mode compressor. I'll explain what that is in a minute. And we're going to listen to it on some drums and some bass and some vocals and hear how this can add some nice grit and some nice excitement to your track. So before we get started, if you like what you see in this video, please consider subscribing and also hit the notification bell. And if you really like this video, consider hitting the thanks button and help support what we do here. Also, if this is your first time here, I want you to go out to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. I want to give you a free mixing course worth $100. It's my gift to you for visiting homerecordingmadeeasy.com. And if you stick around till the end of the video, I'm going to give you something else absolutely free. So stick around. So here we are in Studio One. Here is the Pulsar Audio Smasher. Now, Pulsar Audio makes plugins. Obviously, they have a few of them, and we're going to demo a few of them. I'm pretty new to them. A couple of my students have recommended them to me, and I thought I would check them out. This is not a sponsored video. They don't know I exist. I downloaded this, and I'm in demo mode for 14 days, just like you would if you want to demo this. So I don't get anything for it. I'm not paid in any way, shape, or form. They don't even know who I am. So we're going to give you my first reaction to this. I've only played with it for a few minutes. This is kind of my first user experience with it, and I want to show it to you today. So what is the Smasher? The Smasher is based on the all buttons mode of the 1176 compressor, in this case, the Blue Stripe. So what is that if you're not sure what that is? The hardware unit of an 1176 compressor has four different ratios: a 4:1 ratio, an 8:1 ratio, a 10:1 ratio, and a 20:1 ratio. And it's been used in studios for a billion years. Every single studio and every single record you've heard in the last 50 years has an 1176 on it somewhere in the mix, if not on multiple tracks. And one trick that engineers figured out many, many years ago on the ratio buttons, instead of using a 4, 8, 10, or 20, to take all four of those ratio buttons and push them in and make them all stick in at the same time. And what that does to the circuitry inside an 1176 compressor, it gives you kind of an oversaturated kind of a compression sound. Use all the time when we're doing parallel compression on drums or parallel compression on any track in the analog world. It was very, very effective. Pulsar Audio here made the Smasher where this emulates those four buttons being stuck in all the time. Now on other 1176 plugin that are out there by different manufacturers, you can usually hold down the shift key on your keyboard and hit one of the ratio buttons, and all four of those buttons will press in and kind of do what this does. But this is specifically to the all buttons mode. Simple plugin, easy to use. Let's take a look at it. First and foremost, if you come to the bottom right hand corner, you can stretch out and resize the GUI. How about that? Love when companies do that. We have two simple knobs here: input, output. Bypass button next to the input, nice VU meter in the middle, and then we have a mix control here. So you can put this on like a drum bus, which we're going to do here in a second, and you can smash it, hence the word Smasher, and then just dial in the amount of smashing you want to your smash drums. Really, really cool. So you don't need to have a second track for parallel compression. You could do it all on the same track. The input and the output, as you turn these things, are separate. They're not linked. If you hold down the shift key and turn the input and output knob, you see that they are synchronized. Pretty cool. Other than that, we have a couple of factory presets here. That's it. So I have a drum bus here with a bunch of drums routed to it, acoustic drums, not mixed, not EQ'd or any way, shape, or form. Just kind of routed there. This is completely raw audio, so you could hear it. Quick little balance with the faders, and that's all I did. Let's turn on the Smasher. Well, let's start with it off. Here's what in bypass mode, here's what our drums sound like. Okay, with the Smasher. So you can hear it gives that over compressed sound. When you push all four buttons in on that thing, it over compresses, oversaturates. You can hear the room come out a little bit more. And this is at 100% wet. So the key to this, or what you can do with this, if you're using it on a regular drum bus, that might be too much, is you can really pull back our mix to 0%, hold on our shift key. Let's press a little bit more input and let's turn down the output simultaneously. And then let's dial up our mix and let's just bring in a little bit of that over-compressed sound to our non-compressed drum sound, and let's see what that does. So by over smashing this and by dialing up the mix knob a little bit, just bringing in 20-30%, it brings a little bit more excitement, some compression to the drums overall, and just gets it to sound like it's a little bit more energetic. So you can do this all on one track. Let's resize that GUI a little bit bigger here. Okay, so let's just try some of the presets and see what that does. So let's limit and saturate -10 dB. So here it is, everything straight up the middle, mix on 100%. Without it. So it's a simple way to get some nice over compression and dial it into taste to give the drums a little bit more excitement. And as I said, these drums have no EQ, no compression on any of the tracks. This is the only plugin in on this session. Really simple to use, sounds really good on drums. Pretty cool, right? Let's listen to it on a bass. Nice and big. Let's shrink that down a little. Okay, so here's, we can thicken everything up. And when we thicken everything up, all it does is just put everything at 12 o'clock and our mix knob is at 20%. If we were to go to limit and saturate, it's the same thing with the mix at 100%, right? And if we go to parallel squash, it puts the mix at 66%. Let's try that. So you can hear the compression and it gets a little quieter. So we can just take the output knob and dial that up a little bit just to level match it. So it's a nice balance between compression and distortion and saturation. It's not overly done. It's not like squished to death. Now, if we really want to distort it and really grit this bass up, we can really crank the input quite a bit here. Let's crank the input and let's do this kind of a thing. If you want to get crazy, so you can do that. You can really grit it up kind of nice. Me, myself, if I'm going to use it on the actual track and not a secondary track where I blend the two faders, I'm probably going to do something a little bit more subtle. All right, brings that bass right up forward. Sounds pretty cool. Let's try it on a lead vocal. Let's see what a lead vocal would do. So let's solo this up here. Let's just loop the lead vocal here. Maybe we get to a chorus section.
I'll do it if it takes all night. I got it, bad boy. I got it, bad boy. I got it, bad for you, yeah. I got it, bad boy. I got it, bad boy. I got it, bad for you. So come on, woman, I'm gonna do what's right. And I'll do it if it takes all night. I got it, bad boy. I got it, bad boy. I got it, bad for you, yeah.
Puts a nice little crispiness on his voice. Let's bring that back in the whole track. Again, this track is not mixed in any way, shape, or form. Keep that in mind. I just threw up the faders quickly. But let's kind of hear that in the context of of music around it.
I got it, bad boy. I got it, bad boy. I got it, bad for you. So come on, woman, I'm gonna do what's right. And I'll do it if it takes all night. I got it, bad boy. I got it, bad boy. I got it, bad for you, yeah. I got it, bad boy. I got it, bad boy. I got it, bad for you.
It's pretty nice. It pulls that lead vocal forward and it just adds a little bit of grit on it, which is really cool. Cool little utility plugin. Yeah, Pulsar Audio, again, it's new to me. I also know they make a plugin of the 1178, which is the stereo version of an 1176. I don't know of any other company that's made one of those. And I'm really looking forward to trying that as well. Again, you could demo the plugin on their website. I think for 14 days is their trial, fully functional, which is really cool. It's how I demoed this. It's how I'm going to demo the 1178. And they make a couple other, I think they make the Manly unit as well. They only make a handful of plugins. So this is my first crack at it. This is nice. It's handy, something quick and easy to dial in. You want to put a little bit of grit on something, you dial in a little bit of grit, use the mix knob to regulate the amount of grit on your source. And it sounds really good. I'm looking forward to trying some of their other plugins. So let me know what you think below in the section below. Do you use Pulsar plugins? What do you think about them? I think they're pretty cool. So this is something I would tell you to at least in my first 15 minutes of using it. It's very useful. It could be a really cool utility plugin. You don't use it all the time, but when you need it, it's something quick and easy where you don't have to worry about attack time, release time, and all of that. When you do it 1176, you just kind of throw it on there and go, and it could sound cool pretty quick. So check them out. Let me know what you think below about Pulsar Audio. I'm looking forward to trying some of their other stuff. So I want to thank you so much for sticking around and watching this whole video. As I said at the beginning, I want to give you something else for free. So go out to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. Make sure you get your free mixing course. It's right on the homepage, a big orange button. You can't miss it. Download it today absolutely free. Once you take that course, if you dig my style of teaching and you say, you know what, I want to learn other things from Uncle Dave, and I want to take one of his full featured training courses, and they range from everything from 2 hours long to 20 hours long and everything in between: mixing, mastering, recording, compression, EQ, parallel compression, and so much more. I want to give you a coupon code to take 25% off any one of my training courses. That coupon code is YouTube25. Just put that in at checkout. It'll take 25% off any training course on the website. And if you really want to learn the craft of mixing, if you really dig mixing, you like working with these plugins, you want to learn mixing in a very non-technical way, perfect for beginners and intermediates and even advanced level mixers. No experience necessary. Check out what I have going on at mixingmadeeasy.net. That's my mixing training website. You'll really love that. We take a look at all kinds of plugins and we use them in a very non-technical way so you can make great mixes in your home studio. So until the next video, I've been Dave with homerecordingmadeeasy.com and mixingmadeeasy.net. Thank you so very much for joining me today, and I will see you guys very soon. Take care, everybody.